Today is our ninth session, as suggested by Jerry and Lara. We have been continuing and inviting more and more people to find out, to know the journey of this mindfulness meditation. Let us pick up a topic today: how to begin journey of mindfulness in steps not known to a beginner. Not known to a beginner. Any practice, any venture, any action that we do in our worldly life begins with the knowledge and the desire in the mind. Knowledge and desire. Then that follows the action. I have a desire to drive in this lockdown. So the knowledge first, and then you have a desire. So pay attention to it, how our masters asks how to treat this path of mindfulness. Knowledge, we know, is power that unfolds understanding in the mind about the world around us. After knowledge of anything in the mind triggers to own that object, to possess that object, and enjoy using it. So the first step is always the knowledge that follows desire and then action. If you don't have a desire to attain the mindfulness, obviously, then who cares? I may be barking continuously, but nobody is going to listen because I don't have a desire. Desire. There is no desire. But the desire is prompted by the knowledge. And that principle is famous in Eastern wisdom. What it says, janati, know it, first step. Aspire it, ichhati, desire it. Third, karoti, action, practice. So it's a very famous, like a proverb, janati, ichhati, karoti. That is a sequence. That is a sequence. Eastern wisdom says. Now, going little deeper into this journey of mindfulness or meditation, what we say in Eastern wisdom is that knowledge, which is a power by which the real self or our true nature unfolds. Why we want the unfoldment of our real self? Because it is of the nature of permanent peace and happiness, of love and wisdom. That is why we want to unfold it. But if I don't know and I don't desire for it, how can I unfold it? One aspect. But the beauty of this unfoldment is totally different from desiring an object in the world outside. The real self is like a sun that lightens every object around in front of the sun, and it also lightens the self itself. We don't need a lamp to see the sun. We don't need mind to see the self. Are you understanding? We don't need the sense organs and the mind to see, to unfold that real self, which is like a sun. It is because of that real self, which is known as a pure consciousness, the intellect borrows the consciousness from the self, the mind borrows the consciousness from the self, the body and the sense organ, then I am able to see the world outside. So, what that means in English, we say the real self is self luminous. What is that? Self effulgent. What it means? What it means? The way the sun gives light in the world through which we are become aware of the objects, and the sun also gives light to itself. So we don't need a light from the mind or intellect or ego or the sense organ. That is the nature of mindfulness. So, what is the first step in the journey? What are the steps? So, one of the great texts written by a great master Shankaracharya, who says Atma Brahmeti Vakyartha Nisheshana Vicharate. By thorough analysis, understanding, but through listening and learning from a teacher is the first step. Second step is contemplation and reflection. Stephen and David, they are businessmen. So when they enter into any kind of a project in association with other people, they say, okay, well, this is the project. How much is the benefit? What is the projection? So we think about it. So this similarly, what the master is saying, listen and learn from the master, the principles. Then I have to think it over, what it is, contemplate, remove all the doubts. And if I don't remove the doubt, then I'm guided and dictated by the wrong notions. What are the wrong notions? But before that, we will, third step, once the mind is 100% clear, this is what is my understanding. So let us practice. The practice will become successful even without spending a minute, without spending a second. But without right knowledge in the mind about mindfulness or meditation, right desire will not enter into the mind. What is, and if the right desire does not enter into the mind, there cannot be right practice. Without right practice, there is no success. So, what question comes to your mind? Generally, people say, can you give me 5 minutes of instant meditation or mindfulness practice? 5 minutes? I don't have time. But why you don't have a time? You are running into the world. Why you are running into the world? What you are seeking? The ultimate goal is permanent peace and happiness. That is what we are seeking. Whether we are earning money, whether we are working on a particular project, any action, there is a hidden element that we are a seeker of permanent peace. And I enjoy giving the lessons. Why? I'm a selfish guy. I'm evolving myself, giving a different expression every time. I'm more selfish than you guys. It is helping me. So I leave the monetary aspect secondary. So you see, again, ask the question, no, can you give me 5 minutes of meditation? But why? Because I'm very busy. I want to relax so that I will become again busy. I will continue to run my mind in the world. But why you are running? Permanent peace and happiness. So what is the wrong notion? Can you figure out? Is permanent peace and happiness located in the world outside? The answer is no. We have to get rid of this wrong notion. And the moment you get rid of the wrong notion, the mind calms down. It says, no, I'm not actually busy. I know what is my agenda, what I need to do. I will express, think, and act in my life in peace and happiness, which is a priority to me. And when that becomes a priority to me, what happens? The mind realizes that permanent state of the peace and happiness are within us that we need to unfold through the practice of meditation. Are you getting it? So the first principle is this. There is a beautiful verse from one of the great texts. So it gives you the method. Satasangatve nisasangatvam. Satasanga means the company of the truth in your mind. What is the truth? The real self. So, what is the definition of the simple truth? What is the definition of a truth given in Eastern wisdom by our masters? That is all pervading, that is a never changing identity, that is of the nature of pure consciousness, that is of the nature of love and the wisdom. I don't understand. Can you give an example? The guy loved Ganesha. You know about Ganesha? Ganesha idol. So he went to a gold shop and there he found a gold Ganesha. So, gold Ganesha, pay attention. That is the way how we have to educate our minds. So he said, what is the price of this gold Ganesha? Ah, it cost you $1,000. What about Krishna idol? Ah, it is costing about $600. What about Jesus idol in gold? Ah, it is costing $1,500. How it is so? Is Jesus more important than Ganesha? So the shopkeeper told him, it is not because of the name and the form outside, whether it is Ganesha or Jesus or Krishna. It is all about the weight of a gold. I I worship everyone, but I will give you a price based on the weight of a gold. So the gold is behind Jesus, gold is behind Krishna, gold is behind Ganesha. So we are discovering that gold in us with that name in the form. How? What is the first step? Satasangatve nisasangatvam. By listening and learning the principles of Eastern wisdom that guides us to succeed the path of mindfulness. What happens by listening and learning the principles? It breaks the wrong notion in your mind. What is the wrong notion? Why the Ganesha is so costly? Why the Jesus is no, it is not, Jesus is not costly. According to the weight. So we go outside. Honey, you did this thing. We talk to our uh, many people. We are attached to objects and the things outside. So what it says, satasangatve nisasangatvam. So we break that continuity of the mind, those conditioning, that causes the attachment, and attachment causes the delusion, and the delusion causes the suffering. So, what is the method? Satasangatve nisasangatvam. So, I have to start thinking about, is the mind working on me or the mind? I'm working on the mind. Attachment comes when the mind is working on you. So, first step, satasangatve nisasangatvam. By learning and listening the principles, I realize how my mind becomes crazy, obsessed. Second step, nisasangatve. Once we are unattached, we move to the right knowledge. Once the attachment drops completely. Honey says, I hate you. Come on. So you say, okay, continue to hate me. But let us sit down and understand. Let me remove what causes the hatred. That is one aspect. So that gives you the right knowledge. You hate me, I also hate you. So you hate me, I also hate you. So I'm moving into a wrong notion. So you see that by listening and learning the principles, your mind, you open up to the conditionings of the mind. Conditionings are nothing but the attachment. And the non attachment leads to the right knowledge. What this master says, nirmohatvam nishchal tattvam. The moment you have a right knowledge in the mind, there is a total clarity. The mind calms down, it moves into the steadiness and the quietness naturally. You need not to work hard. You need not to fight with the mind. You need not to control the mind. And what is the wrong notion? No, I don't want to practice meditation because I cannot control my mind. The moment I sit in meditation, all the thought enters into my mind and they create disturbances. Why? There is no right knowledge, according to this master. So, three steps. Satasangatve, by listening and learning the principles and contemplating, I break up the conditioning in the mind that is causing me the suffering, the pain, the pleasure, and it is leading me to lot of stress in my life. And what happens when we break that conditioning? A state of non attachment in the mind leads to right knowledge about who am I. And the right knowledge, what it says, right, if you have a right knowledge and you are settled, your mind is settled in that right knowledge, what will happen? There is no reason to control the mind. The mind moves into the state of calmness and quietness naturally. And that leads you to the meditative state. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Simple. No, my mind, my body is causing me lot of the problem. My mind is attached to the body. So I contemplate and reflect. I contemplate and reflect. Contemplate and reflect. Many people ask me, can you give me 5 minutes meditation? So when I see their face, they are already disturbed. And I say, how long it takes you to sleep? You say, oh, it's terrible. I have problem of sleeping. It takes me 2 hours on the bed to fall into sleep. So do you realize that you cannot control your mind? You cannot take over your mind. The mind has taken over you. How can you succeed in 5 minutes of instant meditation? So that is also a wrong notion. So understand before we start the practice. What is that? Again, I'm repeating. First, let me become aware of the mind by understanding the principles of Eastern wisdom. So when I understand, and then I start thinking, oh, my mind is crazy. It is obsessed. It is insane. It is running after a lot of stuff at the same time. And it is because of the sense of attachment. So by learning and listening, you break the conditioning through the knowledge in the mind. That is the first step of the practice. So once you break those conditioning, the mind goes deeper in the state of non attachment. The non attachment, in the state of non attachment, mind shines with the right knowledge. Mind shines with the right knowledge about what? Not about the world, about who am I. And who am I? I'm of the state of pure consciousness, so I have to discover myself going within. Now, see that. What happened to the mind? And mind has left running in the world outside. It is going within naturally. That leads to, the master says, Nishchal Tattvam, means a natural state of quietness and a calmness. And when you continue the journey by the practice, you are already there. Where? In the state of mindfulness. Then only, last point, then only what makes the difference that we already know. Then what will happen in your mind every time, 24 by 7, and especially during the waking state? The mind is full of the right knowledge. You are aware of it. So, what is going to happen? You undertake a journey based on asatoma satgamaya. You leave the falsehood. Tamasoma jyotirgam. Only that state of the mind can sing, can live, and can continue to evolve. That is what the master says, asatoma satgamaya. So you drop in your head that false nature, that layer of the ignorance, that fear of the death. Then this verse works. Otherwise, we are just chanting habitually. So let us start our journey of meditation and mindfulness today. The stage one, close your eyes. The eyes are closed. Where is the principle? We understand that sense organs can never discover who we are, so we are not running the mind through the sense organ. How simple it is. How simple it is. Then what happens when the mind is facing to the self? We recognize the body moves into the state of steadiness. We miss the first step. We say, oh, last step is the most important step. So hence, let us do the last step. The knowledge is realized in stages. Any knowledge. So in the stage one, we follow the three steps: being comfortable, being carefree, and being casual. I just divided in the entire meditation journey into stages for the sake of understanding. Otherwise, there is no stage in any mindfulness or meditation practice. But for the sake of understanding, conceptualizing. So, being comfortable, now pay attention. We'll take it to the next level. You move the mind on the neck joint. That is what I have been saying as instruction. So, you move the mind on the neck joint. So, neck joint is an object, is a physical object. And knowledge is then what I say, feel the sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. Does the sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness has shape, size? No. When you still experience, which has no name in the shape, the mind becomes subtle. Being comfortable is a byproduct. We are going deeper. That's how I created a series. So now I'm paying more attention We are paying more attention into the stage one. Check it again. The mind goes to the shoulder joints. Very good. When the mind goes, it feels there is a sensation you experience being comfortable, follows a kind of steadiness there. So we understand that kind of a steadiness comes because the mind is facing to the self, facing inside. Mind is not facing to the world outside. The mind goes to the hip joint. You feel the sensation. What is important, not the hip joint, it is an indication, it is a pointer only. Pointer. Your home address is a pointer, it's not your house. Same way. Now we are going little deeper. So you're looking at the hip joint, but pointer. And then your experience, sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. So once you have that understanding, in the very first step, you lay a very strong foundation to succeed in any meditation or mindfulness. The entire body, move the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes, looking at all the joints. Now see that, is the mind 100% ready with you? Sometime it is not. It's okay. But then you realize that after continuity of the practice, you will reach to that state. So the mind moves to the entire body on all the joints. You feel the sensation, you're comfortable, and you experience the kind of steadiness. My friends, let us move to the second step in the stage one. So, in every stage, I may add or remove the steps. Second step is being carefree. First, let the knowledge will do the rest. What exactly is being carefree? It means free from all the cares that mind does at this moment. How the mind cares? Mind cares by influx of thoughts, influx of sensations. It gives you different experiences, thoughts, ideas. So, what should I do? Again comes the knowledge. Do nothing. Let the thought come, let it go. But that is easier said than done. So that's I gave an example. You're standing across a road watching the traffic. So here the traffic is a mental traffic. Whatever the experiences enters into your mind in the thought, don't get carried away. How? Here the principle works. These thoughts are not you, my friend. Thoughts are present in the mind, and you are not the mind. You and the mind are different. We have covered perhaps in second and the third session. Any thought comes, good, bad, high, low, past, pertains to the meditation, pertains to the journey here and now. Let it come and go. The third point here, the third step is being casual. In the state of being casual, you do nothing. There is an awareness, knowledge, and experience. Simple knowledge, awareness, knowledge, and experience. When you are carefree and comfortable and the mind is facing to the self, what happens? Your experience, the mind seems to be absorbed into the space or emptiness. You get some glimpse of it. That is what I say being casual. What is the being no, I'm casual means what? The mind is not dictating you with any thought. Casually you lie down, casually you are looking, casually you are watching, but with awareness. That is the stage one. We'll have three steps. In the stage two, we purify the mind, then we balance the energy, and we ask the mind to settle completely in a particular state to move deeper. So, what is the first step of? Where is the first step of? The second stage. Just keep looking deep inside the forehead in the space and start breathing short and quick and playful breath. Continue short and quick playful breath in the state of being comfortable, being carefree, and being casual. That will go a long way. The experience from the stage one continues. That is the way. Continue. And stop it. If you have been doing the previous practices regularly, 2 minutes of playful breath. I said playful. It has nothing to do with any pranayama practices according to Hatha Yoga. What is the goal? To purify the mind. How it happens, we'll take up. Now we raise this energy that is directed unconsciously by the habitual mind to the lower centers that causes the anxiety and the stress. So, what we do, take a deep, silent, slow breath. First into the belly, expands like a balloon, then into the rib cage. Pay attention. Inhalation is totally deep, silent, and slow without any noise at all. But the exhalation, we are doing the humming sound louder, deeper, and longer. Paying attention deep inside the head, you will start feeling a very strong vibes there. Let us start. If your breath rate during humming drops to 4 to 5 breaths in a minute, you are already there. You need not to worry about the mind disturbs you or mind makes you crazy. No way. That is the secret behind it. Let us continue. Deep, silent, and slow breath without making a noise. It should take a lot of time. Means you're bringing down the rate and the rhythm of the breath. It will break up the old pathways in the brain, and the humming will lift your mind up. Two principles I have applied. We'll talk about it later. Let us continue. Continue. I just gave a hint that if your breath rate drops to 4 or 5 breaths a minute while doing the humming, it will happen on its own. What you need to do, just pay attention during inhalation. It should take time. You should breathe as deep, as silent, as slow as possible. And you do the humming as long, as loud, as deep as possible. That is the only thing that we should remember. Continue. Continue long, deep in the hissing, long, deep in the silent inhalation, and the long, loud in the deep humming sound. And stop this humming. I have seen in my students who have done it regularly for about 3 weeks, and I asked them to do 10 humming. It normally takes around 4 minutes. What? The breath rate drops to only 2.5, 2 breaths a minute. Or maybe if you continue the journey, it may happen 1 breath a minute. But don't focus there. Focus should be on how to do this step, and the rest will be taken care of. And when that happens, the brain should change its old pathways. It is broken. It gives rise to a new consciousness. You know what our neuroscientists have started saying? Oh, it leads to neuroplasticity. Yes, we know it. You have discovered now. So, the third step in this, to experience the change, move the mind on the head and the neck. Just be there. Feel and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. You're hungry. Now you have eaten the food. And what is the sensation and experience? Something like this. Move the mind on the right arm So your mind is touching the skin of the entire right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. The crazy mind, the habitual mind says, I know. What is next? And then you miss the practice. We'll go deeper into every step. So, experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left arm. Be there. Feel the presence. And experience sensation, relaxation, stillness. What is the right knowledge in this step? The journey of meditation and mindfulness is to discover our true nature. We should not rest only on, oh, I feel relaxed and calm, you are a good teacher. No, that will not work. Relaxation and calmness are the byproducts of any and every meditation or mindfulness. Move the mind on the rib cage, be there, feel the presence and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind goes to the belly, all around. Feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. We should acknowledge, recognize, and accept what is happening now. That is what we are doing. You may say it is not a step. Move the mind on the right leg. The mind touches, means the mind covers the entire leg. How? When you live into that extraordinary awareness, mind is facing inside in the state of being comfortable and in the state of being steadiness. You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg. A caveat I should add, if the mind is, you know, mind may be 99% inside, and the 1% impacted by the past impression enters like a thought in the mind that triggers and moves the body. Can I become aware of that subtle movement in the mind? That destroys. It is not enforcing the stillness in natural state. Move the mind on the left leg and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Patanjali explaining the method of the asanas. So he only explains, his commentator says that there are only 6, 7 meditative postures. That what Patanjali is talking. So what is about the meditative position of the body? That is where I have picked up this principle. Move the mind on the entire body. प्रयत्नशैथिल्यता अनन्तसमापत्तिभ्याम्. Move the mind on the entire body. Experience sensation, relaxation, and total stillness. This is what our great Guru Patanjali says. But he is talking with reference to the mind. The mind is totally absorbed deeper in. That leads to the negation of effort in the body by mind. Negation. Let us move to the stage 3. So, we have been talking about moving inside. So, we follow the what mind says inside and outside. So, the mind always understands outside and inside with reference to the body. So outside there is a outer space. Master says there are three spaces. Understand, and then we'll follow the stage three. The physical space, is it infinite? Yes. Mental space, it is also infinite? Yes. And then the space where the true nature dwells. Three spaces. So at present, we are moving the mind into two physical space outside and the Chittakasha, the mental space. How? Just do a little deep, silent, and slow breathing. And we do it by nyasa, another word I'm using. So I'll explain in detail. Let us be into the practice. See, your breath is little deep, silent, and slow, not very deep. Means you change the normal breathing pattern. Why? To keep the mind in the field of awareness. Now, as the mind, breath goes in, the mind moves in, become aware of the inner, infinite mental space. What is that? How to recognize? Whatever the mind is visualizing, I mean to say mentally, feeling, either the sense of blankness, emptiness, it is the mental space. When I say you to see the sky above, you say, yes, I'm seeing it. So you are more aware of the sky than the birds flying there in the clouds. Same thing. When the breath goes in, the mind is moving into the inner space. So you are aware of the space where the thought enters and leaves. When the breath comes out, now the mind becomes aware of the infinite physical space as the container of everyone. That will drop the attachment. So you have engaged the mind, educating the mind. Breath is little, deep, silent, and slow. And every time the breath goes in and the mind moves within, and it becomes aware of the mental space. Yes, where the thoughts are there, in the mental space. Where my house, car, other people, relations are there, in the physical space. And I gave a very small tip. Look at the sky so you see the clouds, but you become aware of the sky as a space. Sky is not an object. See that? And in that space, every time the breath goes in, you become aware of the mental space there. The next step is drop Shantoham three times. Shantoham, Shantoham, Shantoham. The breath returns. Drop casually in the physical space. Shantoham, Shantoham, Shanto. Our great masters have declared Shantoham means I am the peace. and they have declared the peace is of the nature of infinite space. Sukha, ka means space. Same in the Khechari Mudra. For the sake of your understanding, Sukha, good space. What is good space? It is emptiness. We are in the stage 3, the second step. We'll take this step very deeper in the next session. 3 times. Shantoham. Oh, Shantoham, I'm the peace, but the peace is shape is space. So the mind picks up that infinite space inside and outside. It is not going anywhere if we do it with the right knowledge and understanding. Where is that right knowledge helps you? There are 50 beautiful women is there. I can recognize, oh, here is Lara, here is Jerry. How come? Right knowledge. Shantoham. Right knowledge. Space. I'm simply a pointer. The teacher in this journey of Eastern wisdom is simply a pointer. And now, drop the Shantoham, drop the deep breath. Stage 4, we continue with the same step. In that state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness, in that state where the mind is living within, from within you look at the breath, going in and out. First, awareness, first point of. Second, when the breath goes in, you feel the sensation inside the nose. Every breath going in and out. And the third point, do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. First, we do it regularly with eyes closed, and then the mind says on its own, oh, you can do it even with eyes open. So, what you're doing, you're bringing that mindfulness state in every activity of your life. How come then you talk to your client, but you see inside the gold that I explained just now? The gold is in essence, whether gold is real self. So you are always aware of the real self. But you talk to Stephen, Jerry, Lara, Sangeeta, David, Ashok, and you talk to yourself also with the name and form outside and inside. That is what happens. Now doing nothing. Remain as you are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Bring your awareness on the left hand. You can move the fingers in the palm a little. We are not lifting our palms and placing it on our eyes nowadays due to coronavirus, and open your eyes slowly. We will share our experiences now. It helps you more than, and it also helps me. I can understand your state of the mind, and that helps me to take you to a customize and personalize the practice. That is the goal. So let us talk to Stephen first.
First off, thank you. I appreciate everything that you do. Today's experience first started with the fact I always like to use headphones. I'm able to hear better, focus better. Also keep the noise that's around me out. And I had technical difficulties today. And for what I got out of this is that I'm always we're always in this battle of inner peace, as you talk about. And so I'm recognizing that the things that happen and my attachment to them is what causes my issues, my anxiety, my stress, and everything along those lines. So as the practice starts, it starts with my technical problems, which immediately was able to say, all right, well, what can I do about it? So, so let that go. Then
I
in the
appreciate
middle of
it.
then in the middle of the practice, my phone rings because I forgot to turn off my ringer before it starts. And I was like, okay, that's test number 2. And then
Wonderful.
the other side of it is that I have my dog. I hear him scratching at the door to go outside. And I was like, not my problem right now. So I truly battled this inner peace and the detachment aspect of it. And it all makes sense. So thank you.
Wonderful, Stephen. You got it. You see that? That's what I've been saying. The right knowledge helps you. Not I'm saying it is it is masters. We have been saying it. Lara, see
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yep.
Otherwise, we continue to struggle. Oh, what will happen? Outer disturbances. You attend few classes, and then you say, "Okay, master is also crazy. He doesn't understand me, and I don't understand him. Better to leave." Because of lack of understanding, because of lack of right knowledge, because of wrong notion.
Yep.
Oh yes, so wonderful, Stephen. That I'm very happy that I'm able to pass on this wisdom even to a single person. That's not a wonderful. So how about you, Jerry, and our friend David? Yes. I don't hear you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Um, I had a similar. Did you turn it? I did turn it on.
Yeah. Now I can hear.
Oh, sorry, my speaker was off. I had a similar experience today, and I had 2 tests. So the first one, I was I was inside, completely inside, and a bird hit the window.
Oh,
And so the body a little bit reacted, but not moved, but like that startle.
yeah.
But what I noticed was I was still inside. The heart rate didn't increase. I noticed that I still had the calmness. And then secondly, I had stone come up to me, and I felt the nose on my hand, but there was no movement. And again, I was able to just stay within, but noticing these things on the outside. So it was great.
What a beautiful way. Because that's what the master is saying. Know it first. clearly understand it, then you have a right desire. It is unbinding desire for meditation that helps you succeed. In case of Stephen and uh, and Jerry, unbinding. What is a binding desire? Oh, the dog, the sound. That is a binding desire. Unbinding, mind is moving inside. We'll talk about that's a wonderful. How are you, David? Unmute.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Um, I just really, really got to this real clear inner light and inner space that I've never felt before.
Wonderful.
Prior to going into that, the conversations, I was attaching to the conversations or the thoughts in my head. But once I got to that inner light, that inner space, it was truly being at the side of the freeway watching the cars go by. I had zero attachment to thoughts, and they would just come and go. And it was just, and for whatever reason, the color I'm seeing in the light is like an indigo color. I remember that, which was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so it was fabulous. Thank
It
you.
was, you all are becoming a seeker. I'm happy.
Thank
Maybe
you.
wonderful. So we'll talk about these colors that we visualize, indigo, blue, white. We'll understand that also in our following sessions. So how about you, Lara?
I had a better meditation today than I think I have. Um, and I attribute one is that I've changed my sitting position. And so I feel like that has been much more comfortable today.
Okay.
I also had a lot of distraction because Eric is doing a phone call right now. So there's noise in the background. I do have my earphones on, but I can still hear everything. But I was able to just tune it out and let it kind of be background noise.
Yes.
Really focus and be present with my breath. I'm having a lot of magenta and purple
Magenta.
colors kind of
Cool.
come in. That's been going on for the past couple of days. The other thing that I've noticed, and it didn't happen today necessarily, but as I practice on my own, all of a sudden my eyes will just start tearing and just flooding. I don't feel anything, but I feel like it's just this old release
Yes.
happening.
Really, yeah.
It's not every day, but it's many days. And it's been very interesting to observe that as part of
Yeah.
my, yes.
Greater the release, better it is. You know, when the mind goes deep inside, it is not communicating and understanding the things and the objects and the states in terms of the language and the alphabets or the thoughts. So, deeper the mind goes, it wants to communicate through different colors. It indicates a different state. So, normally we talk in that there are 9 different states of the mind in which the mind enters, whether it is a total silence or inner space or different colors. Yes, you all are becoming seekers. So, what about you, Ashok? Can you show? Yes. Ashok or Sangeet? Yes, yes.
भाई साहब पीसफुल रहा बट हल्का सा कभी कभी झटका सा लगता है और आई डोंट नो व्हाई फिर
Yeah,
वापस वही
yeah.
में आते हो
Yes, I
फिर
did not talk about it. He gets jerks in the body. Yeah, your honey is speaking. It's okay. Let's
दे
let.
गुड़िया है अभी बंद करता हूँ
We are not attached to your honey, so it doesn't make any difference to us. Let it make, that is, I did not talk about it. Normally, when I work with the individual people, because in a collective, we are holding back something in our mind. But when I do these sessions individually, I see that people are doing and their hand jerks very fast without any intention in the mind. So understand it is a release. Let it be released. but obviously it should not become crazy. Then we need a personal attention.
Okay. Okay.
So, how are you, Sangeeta?
सर अच्छा था, बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत पीसफुल था और अभी तक वो स्टेट बनी हुई है, अभी
Wonderful.
तक शांति लग रही है.
She says that state is still, she is able to maintain that state of the mindfulness